Hi, lovely. Mm. Yeah, I'm I'm okay. Nothing huge is wrong, but yeah, I don't know. Uh, no, Williams. he- Okay, so I drive over there, not thinking much of it, but then I see Alexis's car parked there too, which is kind of odd because he didn't mention anything about her. Not really a big deal, but he doesn't usually have both of us come to talk to him at the same time, so I'm immediately kind of on high alert walking into this, worried that this is bad news or big news or something. So I walk in, Alexis is already sitting down across from Will. I sit down too, and he decides to drop the bombshell that he's not going to be attending the Monarchical Summit. The summit that he specifically requested to host this year. Now, suddenly, he's not coming. And when we ask why, he says he's bogged down with work for the property management company. He's double booked. He's got an event that he has to host for that instead. Oh, I know. I know. It doesn't make any sense. First of all, he's the one who scheduled both of them. William doesn't make little quote-unquote mistakes like that. He is the most anal retentive person I have ever met. And even if he did, it's not like he can't reschedule or just not host the property management event. He dumps them in my lap all the time. He even made Sam be the face of the company at one of them. I mean, they're really not a big deal. But the summit is. He has never missed one. Certainly not one his house is hosting. And certainly not for something as insignificant as a work party. So Alexis asks if one of the other houses is going to be taking over as hosts, but Will says no. The House of Solaire keeps to its promises, and we're still going to be hosting it. He just won't be there. So he says it's up to me and Alexis to take the reins on this. But it's Alexis we're talking about. So without batting an eye, she says there's no way in hell she's going to be in charge of all that crap. She can barely be bothered to attend, much less to host. Which, typical of her. I'm not surprised by any of that. But that's when I knew that something about this was fucked up. William doesn't tolerate that shit. In any other situation, he would have immediately gotten her together on that. But instead, he just says, all right, then it'll have to be your responsibility, Vincent. I don't know what he's doing, but whatever went down there, I mean, he knew exactly how it was going to all play out. Will knows Alexis. He knows how she is. He knew she was never going to agree to that unless he pushed the issue. But then he didn't. He acted like it was all just like a formality to get out of the way before he could dump it all in my lap alone. But I don't get it. I don't know why he would do this. Oh, and that's not all. While I'm trying to ask him how I'm supposed to make all this happen on my own, he adds in that he's invited the Shaw Pack to the summit under our name. And don't get me wrong, they're great people. When we got to spend last solstice with them, it was a lot of fun. But now, the first summit I've ever been asked to host that I'm completely unqualified to handle on my own with no training, I also have to try to keep a room full of, let's call a spade, bigoted old vampires from getting into a spat with a wolf pack that are effectively representing our house at the same time. This is nuts. It's not just nuts. It feels like a trap. It's a test, but I don't know. I don't know why he's testing me. I don't get it. William orchestrated this whole thing. He's the one that specifically requested to host the summit this year, even though it was supposed to be the House of Rabane's turn. He's the one who invited the Shaw Pack. He's the one who scheduled this work event thing that apparently has to take precedence on the same night. He's the one who decided he has to be the face of the company there, even though he's the head of the company. No one can tell him to do that but himself. And he's barely ever the one to be at these events. I don't get why he's pulling all these strings to make this happen the way that it's happening. And when I tried to ask him about it, he just hand waved it all off. The closest I got to what I think is the real answer is right at the end, after Alexis had already walked out, after laughing at my predicament, as she put it, mind you, he said, "I need you to do this for me, Vincent." Which is still not an answer, but it felt like as close as I'm gonna get. So apparently he needs to see me pull this off, but I don't get why. What difference does it make if I can host the summit? If he wants me to start taking that over, if he's bored of it or something, then why wouldn't he take a few summits to train me on it, get me used to it, like do a trial run? Why is he throwing me in the deep end? Yeah, but honestly, underneath all of the like surface level annoyance, it makes me worry about him. Like, is there something going on with him that he's not saying? Like, why does this have to happen so suddenly? Is something wrong? I mean, he can't be sick or something. Vampires don't get sick. But I don't know why he's doing this. and he's being really evasive about the whole thing. I don't get it. I don't think I'm ready to do this. It's a huge responsibility, and I don't have the training or experience to deliver on it. William enjoys the subtleties of it, the backstage politics, the event management. He always says he treats it like a game, and then he finds it fun. I like a challenge as much as the next guy, but this is different. I don't have 500 years of experience with these people to know how to keep them in line. Logistics, I can handle. I already do a lot of the legwork in that department every time we host. But that's just a portion of it. The people side of it, especially these people. I mean, these are the most powerful vampires alive. And they know it. And they act like it. If I'm not careful, this is going to turn into a train wreck. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Thank you. You are too good to me. I will gladly take the help. There's no one I'd rather get through this with than you, but I didn't want your first summit to be like this. You shouldn't be helping to manage it. You should be enjoying it. This was supposed to be you and me getting into ridiculous outfits and showing up all these old curmudgeons, not figuring out how to wrangle them with very little backup. No, I mean, Sam will help for sure. He's not who I'm worried about. Oh no, trust me, Alexis will be there. She said she didn't want to help host. That doesn't mean she's not going to attend. Especially with me having to manage all of this and it being a potential disaster, she wouldn't miss it for the world. and I'm not worried about the Shaw Pack attending in terms of their behavior. I mean, I trust David and whoever he'd bring to be great guests. It's how the rest of the old guard are going to behave that I'm worried about. Plenty of the vampires there couldn't care less about shifters being there as well. But there are also plenty that are going to be annoyed at best. There is a history of bad blood, and more to the point, a history of not knowing how to grow up and set aside differences from God knows how long. Long memories and even longer grudges. That's how Will usually describes it. I gotta keep pushing with him. There's more to this. it feels like a test. But if it is, what does he want me to prove? If it's something big with him, why can't he just tell me about it? Like, it never mind. No, I just, I know. I don't want to sound like petty or something, but it kind of stings to think that he wouldn't just say what's happening, what's really going on. We've had our rough spots over the years, but he's my maker. I trust him. I thought he trusted me too. But then all this cloak and dagger bullshit makes it feel like he doesn't. And I get that there are things as the king that he can't discuss with me, but he could tell me that much. You know, that the reasoning for all of this is something I can't know yet. And instead, this all just feels like the runaround, like he's trying to pretend nothing's happening instead of just explaining that he can't explain. It's just a really weird spot to be in. It feels like he's treating this like a game too. But I don't even get to know how to win. I'm not even a player. I'm one of the pieces. And I don't know. I thought I'd earned a little more grace than that by now. And it hurts to think that I haven't. Maybe that's naive of me. I don't know. Thank you. Lovely. You really mean the fucking world to me, you know that? I love you. Hey, we are still gonna make this a good summit for you. I am not letting this bullshit ruin this. We have earned a fun time at this damn party, for fuck's sake. Oh, hold on, sorry. One sec. Hey, Sam.
Vincent.
I could really use some good news right about now.
Then you're probably gonna want to hang up.
What is it?
Porter's coming back to town. Soon. Very soon. He might already be here.